Hi, this is Aaron Rice with AaronRiceHelps.com. I'm here with Chantel Cornegay. Chantel just completed a short sale.
Yay!
And Chantel, tell me, if anyone was contemplating doing a short sale, debating between whether they should do a short sale or do a foreclosure or file bankruptcy, what would you tell them?
I would say go with the short sale. And the reasoning or the reason for my decision to go along with the short sale is because, to me, I benefited greater going along with the short sale versus foreclosure. If anyone knows about the housing crisis right now, so many Americans, they look at foreclosure as their only option without seeking information from persons who have experience being short or short on a mortgage, or not being able to keep up with payments, or not going online and doing research, or reaching out to their local realtors just to talk about what their options are. I think losing a job in itself is enough to be stressed about, and to have to think about relocating, moving, or the options of losing a home. And I think people think that foreclosure is the easiest route. And I know from experience that that is not the best decision. And I would encourage anyone to really think about the short sale process, to do some research on the short sale process, to contact a realtor, to ask questions, to see what their options are, and not look at foreclosure as the only way out.
And Chantel, if you remember when we first met, you were a week away.
Yep. 7
days away from an auction.
Yep.
And tell me a little bit about, if you don't mind, kind of where you were kind of mentally at that time. And I know that I had to work with you to let you know that we were going to find a buyer. We were going to get through the whole process. But kind of, how were you feeling at that time?
I was feeling more so vulnerable and desperate, because, with foreclosure, people don't talk about that. People don't talk about, my house is getting ready to go into foreclosure. That's not a table conversation. And I had recently had a break-in. Then, 4 weeks later, there was a layoff. That wasn't a planned layoff. It was, come on in, we want to talk to you. Guess what? Today's your last day. And at that point, I was already a little behind on my mortgage, and, contacting different people within the mortgage company, the mortgage company that I was with at the time, and having the harassing phone calls, having the letters sent, having the mailings. And I think that at a certain point, I was so frustrated by the accumulation of all these different catastrophes that I would call happening simultaneously, should I say, that I was at a point where I just said foreclosure. Come and get the house. I'm not worried about credit. I'm not worried about my namesake. Just come and get the house. And then I said, at a point, I am a little bit smart. I feel as though that I'm smarter than that. That I know that there's options. For some reason around that time there were commercials. Call the Maryland Hope Hotline. TV infomercials, radio infomercials. And I felt like, well, at this point, I need to at least call someone. So I called the Maryland Hope Hotline, and they took my information, my arm, my leg, of course, and I was contacted by a lawyer, and I felt as though that I was number 1,000, on his list. And for me, I needed someone whom I can call via cell and not have to talk to a secretary or not have to communicate via email only. And I wanted someone who I can actually develop a personable relationship with, who would be cognizant of my needs and aware of who I was and where I was at that particular time. So I called Karim, the person who sold me the house, and he recommended me to a wonderful person, a wonderful realtor named Aaron Rice. And, you know, I came in the office and I was trying not to cry and I couldn't get it together, but I knew I had to come in and be open and honest about where I was and what I needed help with. And you know, I was welcomed and I was assured that, you know, I was going to receive the help that I needed. And I was told at the time by Aaron that it was going to be a very lengthy process. And, you know, it could go either way. And I was just, I guess I left after tears in my eyes, left feeling, I really want to say that the burden was somewhat halfway off of one shoulder. I put it that way. And I'm so glad, you know, that even through the rocky up and down and the different persons who put contracts on the house and, you know, reneged, and getting to the point where I was like, Aaron, just call the foreclosure company and tell them come get my house, because I'm fed up and I don't care. But to have someone who basically held my hand, you know, and initiated the fact that it was going to be okay. And I needed that. Me and the type of personality that I have, I needed that. And, you know, I'm very grateful that as of this day, the success of the short sale, plus the fact that Wells Fargo forgave the balance, and to find out that only 4 to 12% of short sales are successful in the nation. And I'm one of those successful stories. And, you know, I would not have been a success story without the help of Aaron Rice. And, you know, it's you can't help but to get emotional, because I think it's so many things that go through your mind at that time. And to have someone to help you relieve just a small portion of the stressors that a person encounters, and, you know, to have that person there to